this is Colleen from Keeping the Peace, Defensive Handgun Training for Women, and today I'm going to talk to you about a holster called the Betty. This is in the Pinup collection by Lisa Looper. Looper Law Enforcement Holsters, they've been making holsters for quite a number of years, and Lisa herself has designed a series of holsters for women, designed with the female anatomy in mind, and this particular one is probably my favorite out of the entire collection. It's the one that's proven to be the most useful for me. The Betty is a clamshell Kydex holster, extremely thin Kydex, with a fairly simple yet sturdy clip, and it can be used in a boot, it can be used inside the waistband, turned around the other way and used outside the waistband on the other side of the body, depending on how you want to configure your carry. But I've been actually testing this holster for a while in an appendix position, which is in the past not been a place that I've carried very often. But I find that I can pull it off under a fairly loose fronted shirt that's like this one. I do find that I have to use a belt to keep it in place. When I read the description, it said, you know, the clip is so aggressive that you don't really need a belt, you can just clip it on the waistband. I have not found that to be true. When I do draw the gun, the holster would tend to come out with it, which of course is a bad thing. But I've been wearing it here, so it's fairly toward the front. And this I use with my CP 938. And once the shirt is over top of it, it really fairly disappears from sides, from the front. And it stays fairly close to the body. It tucks it in pretty far. Of course, as a female, you have to be willing to accept that something is going to go out past your, profile. So it's really only going to work if you're using a shirt that doesn't squeeze into your actual belly, because you can see how big of a difference that is. So you have to be, willing to take that. And certain shirts will accommodate that, certain ones won't. But a fairly flowy A-line type shirt will accommodate it pretty well. And I find that the stocks of the handgun really lay into the belly. So they basically lay into the body like this. And it disappears, really. Even if someone noticed a tiny lump, if you moved, like if I moved back like this, which is a really odd position, I don't think the typical person would probably make that type of movement, but even if you did, they might think it was a cell phone clip to your belt or something like that. So I think that the holster works fairly well. When you draw, the gun comes out of the holster very smoothly. The clamshell is not tight enough that it requires much pull. I find that it's a very loose clamshell, bringing me to the point of it's not a whole lot of retention for the gun. This is not a holster that you would do this upside down and your gun would not fall out. That is not the case with this one. The clamp is, I think, fairly loose. I wouldn't do this with my gun over a tile floor without holding my hand under it. It is not falling out right now, which I guess is good. You do, depending on how you wear your pants, have a little bit of natural retention from the belt line pressing in on the clamshell, which adds a little bit. But yeah, I guess it's not falling out, but I still don't trust it fully. It is kind of coming out a tiny bit, but it's not all the way. But it is a good hold. The wonderful thing about this is that for inside the waistband, it adds, I'm going to try to get close, hopefully it'll focus, it adds practically zero width to your gun because it's such a thin Kydex and it hugs so closely. They've done a good job at flaring this out around your sights and your safeties. You can get a good full purchase on the grip. When you reach inside the pants, there's nothing getting in your way and keeping you from getting a good full grip on the gun. It does not press on the safety and release the magazine while it's in your pants, which is nice. It does, I just think it's really good. You can also, if you wanted to, you could probably clip this in some different configurations. You can turn it on the clip any which way you want. So if you clipped it in your pants and you wanted it to sit a different way, you can just adjust it that way and then tighten it down. So you have a lot of flexibility with the way that you wear it, which is nice. So this is, again, the Betty, part of the Pinup collection from Lisa Looper. And if you're looking for a real versatile, low profile inside the waistband holster that you could also use in a purse or in a boot, this is one I'd probably recommend. So there you go. There's the Betty. When I do wear it under the shirt, for the ladies, if you're trying to conceal it into your body the best way, if you take it and turn it so that the point of the bottom of your magazine points up at your right breast, that's going to make it disappear the best. If you have it this way, then when you pull your shirt down, you're going to have a lump sticking out. If you want it to disappear into the curve of your body, you want to press it this way so that the point of the magazine is pointing straight up. That way it's adding nothing to your sides. And it practically disappears. And you still have a good grip. So there you go. The Betty.